Don't make him angry. You wouldn't like him when he's angry. Ewings' Immortal Hulk series ended in 2021 with an interesting mix of action, horror, and philosophy that I want to discuss today. Also in contrast with the newly released Hulk series by Donny Cates. Oh boy, do I have to say something about this new series. What made Immortal Hulk so great in the first place was being a reboot that not only integrated and honored decades of Hulk storylines and characters, but also managed to update and retextualize those characters and events in the Hulk's history. But all good things had to come to an end, and today we will discuss this final chapter of the Immortal Hulk. If you have not seen my previous and actually first video about Immortal Hulk, please do so. This video is a direct sequel to that video. So if you want to hear a more deep analysis of the whole series beforehand, you can check that out. Also, spoilers ahead. Ewing's biggest strength for me always came with combining horror, character moments, and philosophical discussions about duality, religious deities, and the immortal fight of good and evil. The Immortal Hulk uses Banner and Hulk's relationship as a stand-in for the duality of man, God, and devil, and how one part needs the other to exist, and how the lines can be blurred in the process. The last couple of issues of Immortal Hulk tackle this kind of ambivalent discussion, but beforehand Hulk and Banner lose everything due to the ongoing plan of Samuel Stearns, the leader, the devil in disguise. Samuel Stearns seems to be the ultimate counterpart to Banner and the Hulk. A lot of Marvel characters have multiple nemesis, just like Spider-Man with tons of characters like Doc Ock and Green Goblin. But the Hulk, while also fighting Abomination and General Ross in a lot of cases, has Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, who does seem to be his main foe on a more philosophical sense. Stearns is hyper-intelligent, in complete control over his body and in a constant state of egomania and lust for power, while Banner is bound to his emotions, primarily rage, and for the most part seems to be more interested in saving this planet than destroying it. Immortal Hulk plays the two parties against each other in a battle as intense and suspenseful as ever, where Hulk and Banner's endurance are tested to the maximum by a leader obsessed over the secrets and potential power that surround the one below all, who's now linked to the Hulk. After framing the Hulk for an explosion that killed innocent bystanders, Stearns continues to destroy every aspect of Banner and the Hulk by entering his mindscape and killing the Devil Hulk, capturing and torturing Bruce Banner and fusing with the one below all. Mr. Fix-It and the Child Hulk persona join together, with the remaining supporting characters need to do everything they can in their power to stop this new menace that has trapped Banner and might unleash hell on Earth. The finale of the Immortal Hulk sees the two Hulk personas and the reported Jacqueline McGee entering the place below all and fighting Stearns, who has transformed to the point of being almost unrecognizable. As implied, he is also not in control anymore, and the one below all uses him instead of the other way around, which leads to an interesting outcome of the battle that sees the pages of the Immortal Hulk 13 mirrored, with Hulk now forgiving Stearns for his actions, just like the Devil Hulk did with Banner. This message of forgiveness despite the horrors of man is one of the aspects that Ewing presents in his series, and it is also present in the last panel of the final book. When all is revealed by Ewing to the reader in the last issue, the true nature of the One Below All becomes clear. He's not just an evil devil monster, but is actually the one above all as well, opening up a whole discussion about how humanity suffers and endures pain, but that pain also defines us and gives us direction to become better and draw lines in the sand where our morality and humanity actually is. Evil and good coexist and influence each other just like Banner and the Hulk do. They are opposites and also one and the same, depending on your interpretation and perspective. Also playing into the religious aspects of this run by portraying Hulk as Job and the one above all testing him and his faith, his humanity. You're probably wondering what my personal thoughts on this run are, and I would say that this is very close to being a perfect Hulk run. There are sadly still some issues that I had in the later issues, but I immensely enjoyed this thought-provoking, horrific and suspenseful take on my personal favorite character. To shorten this up, I will very briefly, go through all of the things that I am not much of a fan. The fight with the UFOs didn't really do anything for me because the real threat was already stern, so I didn't need this side story, and it was a bit too cartoony for me. Some of the Avengers characters and Marvel Universe stuff also felt more like shoehorning in more stuff from the universe that I just didn't need in my horror philosophy book. The whole subplot about the end of time and this weird alien creature is something that I also don't really understand or care for that much. The flashbacks indicating a shared family history of Stearns and Banner were interesting, but maybe a little bit too much of a retcon at the last minute. So, that was Immortal Hulk. I could talk hours about this book, but let's see what's next in line for the Hulk. Well, you see, after Immortal Hulk ended, Donny Cates, who previously helmed Venom, took over the Hulk saga, releasing his new book simply titled Hulk, promising to go deep into the rage of the Hulk and showing that maybe Banner is the problem in this whole dynamic. We have seen stories like this before where Banner was sort of the antagonist, but I was still pretty damn curious to see where this was going, and well, while I do not hate this book, I am a little bit confused by what this is all leading to. When Immortal Hulk ended, I think Marvel and Ewing had sort of figured out a way to write a perfect Hulk comic for a new generation. You need horror, you need a bit of action, you need deep and dark character work, and you need a theme and a thesis. Hulk was always different to other Marvel characters because he's way more of a tragic horror character than a hero. So having him just punch through the Marvel universe can work on one hand, but it's also just a waste of potential and character. Which brings me to Donny Cates opens his book with the Saga, Smashtronaut, that shows us Banner, after coming to terms with himself in the Immortal Hulk's ending, is now using the Hulk's body as a vessel, an armor, while he is controlling it from the inside like he is inside of some sort of cockpit in his mind. He then jumps through the multiverse, finding another self, and there's also an alternate General Ross who is the president of this new universe, and there's like a Spider-Man Hulk? Okay. Maybe you can hear it, but I'm not the biggest fan of this new Hulk comic. But I have only read the first 4 issues yet, so maybe they will get to something that I enjoy soon. It's too much for me, while also being too little. After these 4 issues, I can still not tell you why Banner seemingly turned kind of evil or something, and now can use the Hulk's body as a weapon, and why I should be thrilled about a Hulk Spider-Man hybrid other than just cheap fan service. There are hints about something dark that happened that basically made Banner snap, which led him down this path, which I think is interesting, but as of right now, this is not enough to keep me reading the book, especially compared to the Immortal Hulk, which after like 2 issues I was down with and I knew the vague direction where they were going. With this though, there's nothing for me to leech onto. The art by Ryan Ottley is fine, I think, but the comic is not subtle, not suspenseful, and as of right now, just kind of juvenile, if that makes sense. It's like Ewing's maturity and deep themes were too much for Marvel editors, so they just needed to jump right back into camp and cameos and dumb action. But those are just my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And by the way, if you like the new Donny Cates Hulk comic, that is totally fine. I'm just confused and disappointed by the different approach to this new Hulk chapter, but maybe it's just not my cup of tea. I hope you enjoyed this video, and you know how the YouTube algorithm works, so please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this video. Plus, if you want to see more, subscribe to this channel. Until next time, stay pulpy and stay artsy. See you!